Can you see my screen, Leanna?
See,
Okay.
myself on mute.
All right. All righty, all righty. Okay. Okay, so American Airlines, I tried to get in today because I thought it was going to start like doing a reversal, and it was a bull flag at the beginning of the day. It was very strong, but it didn't go my way, obviously. I got it here, and then I got it at the bottom sort of this range, and then I sold it up here. So I didn't lose money because I averaged in. But I made the right decision because after this, it just started to tank. So it was good I got out. Um, so based on this, so based on this trend and the curve is going to continue to go down. The next area of I would say support slash area is this right here, this 1494. But I'm thinking that it probably bypass this and get to our 14 area that it really likes. So based on history. And that's my take on it. So I'll just wait until it gets to 14 and call it a day. Apple. So as we know, it's below the 50 period line. It's continuing its strong trend down. Things in China are not going well. And this is sort of a kind of catalyst that this could potentially continue its trend down. There's really no support other than here and maybe well, maybe here, but really the only area that I see that's big obvious is 152, 150. So yeah, I think it's going to continue going down. It's making a little area here. So the tech companies are not doing good. This drive has been very excessive. So I think it's time to like take a breather, pull back, and continue at least to level set. Maybe potentially here, I would say 170, but let's see what happens.
Winners and losers for the day.
Huh?
Winners and losers for the day.
Oh, yes, yes, yes. Good. Yes, I went off track. Losers of the dia. Tesla, AMD, Intel, not surprised by that. DraftKings, and Wayfi. Wayfi, thank you for being a loser. Continue this. um, the ganadores of the dia, aka winners. It says beyond meaty, but it doesn't give me a percentage. Target. We thought that this was gonna go bad, but that's what happens in earnings. It gives you a surprise and it shoot it up. Dashy Sam and huh?
You can say that again.
Walmart and Freshy Fresh Pat. But as you can see, it wasn't a strong thing. And I'll look into detail more. We can look at it now, Target. So yeah, look, it did a reversal. And this is why you have to kind of be a little bit careful with earnings, because yes, it did go down in anticipation. Everybody thought, oh, this thing is going to continue to go to 120, and boom, it had good, I guess, better earnings at the bottom than at the top, or at the one or the other. It didn't have the greatest of revenue, and I'm not surprised by this because of the whole stuff that's been going on, but it still managed to make some dinero. And you would have thought it would have gone down, but it went up. The market makers made it go up. And that's it for this list. Okay, so let's continue in our trajectory. We did American Airlines, Apple. Let's look at nvda, 4% down. Continue stepping down. It's going to hit that 100 sooner or later, maybe mañana, if it continues doing like it does. I wouldn't be surprised if it does mañana, 100. So we'll see. Amazon didn't have the greatest of days, but continues to be, I would say, stronger than the other folks. But it's starting to break a little bit. Still hasn't reached the 50. It did have a hiccup today. Let's see if it follows the trend of the text or it picks back up. If it breaks and goes below the 50, then we're in big trouble, or everything's gonna be a dumpster. ASML, will skip that. AZO, will skip that. Boeing, we can briefly look at it. Yeah, starting to head down to this area. Let's see if it breaks this line right here that we have and goes back to the range, to this area of range, because the airlines, as you saw, are not doing good. So we'll see if it goes back to this area that it likes. The bancos, not having the greatest of days. Yesterday was a bad day. Today was even worse. It's going back to this area right here. Let's see if it does get back to this 28 area. I think that's a good buying point, because every time it gets around here, it picks back up. So we'll continue to observe it, and maybe we can get some EBC when it gets to $10. We'll skip BJ's for now. Let's just look at it briefly. Oh, so it filled the gap, Leanna. It might turn things back around. Chewy, we'll skip that. Costco is very expensive, so we'll skip that stock. Vana, this thing has been going down. So if you would have gone it here or here, you're doing well. And I think it's going to continue. So if it does a little hike up, like a squeeze on people, then people should definitely short this, because this thing is just losing money and is being squeezed for a reason. Dallas will skip. Dashi had a decent day, I guess. Level set is still not below the 50. It's at the 50. So we'll see if it breaks it, because a lot of the tech stocks are here at the 50 period line. And then, if it breaks it, it's downhill from there. DraftKings, last couple of days haven't been too good for it. So now this one is also below the 50 period. Is kind of resembling all of the other tech stocks. Dickety dicks. Okay. 146.52. Okay, so I was right. It did hit that 150. I kind of guessed that yesterday, and I said it could potentially hit that 150. The high of the day was 150.79. I think it's going to continue up. Because even though it was a red day today, it still made it past that 150. So the highest that it has gone, 152.53. So we should put a little line there. Because I think this time is definitely gonna surpass it, and then we can play around. Maybe you'll get to that 155 or so, and that would be a good potential like resistance.
So now long 150.
Yeah, it hit that 150 today, as I had predicted. I'm thinking that it might go up tomorrow again. I'm even thinking it might get to 155. It's been very strong. The trend is up. Dickety Dicks is strong. And remember, school's about to start or has started in the southern states already. and it's a good opportunity because the kids need the sports gear and sneakers and all that nonsense. So I think this is going to pick up, and I think it's definitely going to potentially get it even to 155, 160. Who knows? Because September is here, almost here. School season. We can skip Freshy Fresh Pat. Googly Goog.
You don't want to look at EBC?
Oh, sorry about that. My
Oh,
bad. I
no.
oh, I do want to look at Dollar Tree. I do want to look at Dollar Tree before EBC because this was in the notes yesterday. We want to keep an eye on this and put it again on the notes because we don't want to forget about it. Hint, hint. So basically, this is going to have earnings in 8 days, and what we want to observe, see if it does a little gap up or down. It usually does an extreme either way. And I'm thinking it's going to be a gap. Well, based on this, it's been strong, but hopefully it has a gap down because the last earnings hasn't been the greatest. So we shall see what happens with this. It's a good one because it does jump exaggerated in either direction. And what happens is if you know that it gaps up, you can just short it. If it gaps down, you can just long it. So either way you win because it's going to be a gap. Okay. EBC. So it looks like it's curving down now. We want to make sure that we get this as low as possible. 10 or so is the price that Miss Green had identified. It's slowly stepping down, and all the banks are not doing very well. So yes, we'll continue to observe this. Hint, hint. Home Depot, 333.05. The last couple of days have been kind of flattish up after earnings. It had decent earnings, but the guidance wasn't as great. Intel, no comentario. Lucid. I almost got into this, but I didn't. I'm gonna see if it does another spike up, but it looks like it's gonna hit $6. So maybe I'll just get in it and write it down to $6. Macy's. Getting there, getting to that $15 range that we like. I think if it breaks it, we want to see if it gets down here to this 13.95 area ish. But it's stepping down, is below the 50 period line. McDonald's, it's taking a sweet time. This thing is very, very strong as always. There's really nothing to say, but whenever this thing drops like a rock, just make sure you jump on it because it doesn't matter if there's a war or if Russian people get out of business, this thing is still going to do good no matter what because people are addicted to this and it's just, there's no stopping it. Your Meta. So interesting. Meta did bad, 3.06%. Still not at below the 50, but it's going to get there mañana. So it's following the tech trend of going down. It's below 300. It even got to 294.28. So this tells you all you need to know. This thing is going to start heading down.
What was
along.
the earnings?
Huh? What was what? Oh, earnings. So earnings were good. The last two quarters they have been doing well. After they started not spending so much money, that's when things started to go well for them. So here, okay, but still, this thing is gonna correct itself. Microsoft. Micro. So Microsoft just stepping down each day. When it has a little up day, it's still down. So it's already below the 50. It's looking like it's gonna curve. So, it has to fill this gap. So when you get here to 300, it's gonna have to fill this gap eventually. I think it's gonna get to 280 to fill it. MU, no comentario, Netflix 412. It's gonna hit that 200 potentially mañana if there's a bad day mañana. So yes, this thing runs about $11 a day. It could hit 400 tomorrow. Nikete. This thing has been doing well, I believe. Let me see if I remember correctly. No, just kind of been bouncing around here, making a good area of support. It is below the 50. I had said it would eventually get to 100, but I think it's just hovering around here for a while. NVDA. Okay, so let's see how this did. It did wonderful. It looked like it's above the 50, so it's starting to pick up back up, but the last 2 days have been reddo. And if you look at the 1 period or the 1 minute or the 5, I don't know why this thing is going nuts. Okay. Sorry, technical difficulties. Okay, let's try that again. Huh? Yeah, doesn't wanna fix it. Let's see. All right. Okay, so I'll just look at the 5 minutes. So yes, this post market, it continued going down. So all day, NVIDIA, if you got it here or anywhere here and wrote it down, you did very well. And even if you got it here again and wrote it down, you did very well. So the last couple of days for NVIDIA have been, going downward. It's in
I
a
have
downward.
another order and I'm trying to get back in.
I don't blame you. And like we said, it's a little tech trend where NASDAQ is pushing stuff down. So open. Stepping down, but still in this area. It should break soon. I don't think there's gonna be a little pop, but who knows? Same thing with Piton. I don't know if the boat has sailed. There may be a miracle that brings it back up to $8, and if it does, then people should jump on the ship and bring it back down because that's what's gonna do. There's no winning in this. There's no winning. It's just losing dinero. You know, it pretends to get better, but it gets worse after you realize the reality of the situation. Okay, let's look at the QQQs. And as you can see, this is it's basically saying what we have been talking about all along. Things are curving down. It's below the 50, and this is kind of, if you look at Microsoft and you look at this and look at Apple, it's kind of reflecting the trend now that it's starting to curve down, because this excessive of buying has been extreme. It's kind of pulling back now, like, hey, you got to stop this and kind of recalibrate. So those are all the stocks put together. Rivian, we can see it at a glance. basically is curving downward, upside down U, going back to its original place, and its original place is around $15. So from here to here, that's $5. You can see that it's going back to its place. 15 pesos. Starbucks, we can skip for now. Target, this is what we were looked at briefly, where we said, hey, you know, earnings, it went up to the yin yang. And this is why earnings can be a little bit dangerous for folks. Unless you have a really strong conviction and you have some proof or data that kind of says, hey, it's going one direction, then that's when you can jump on stuff. Uber. Haven't looked at this in a minute. Uber basically the same as the others, below the 50 period and slightly going down. Visa, haven't looked at this either. Don't know how to read it because it just bounces a lot up and down, but it's still above the 50. We can skip Wayfee. Walmart. So this one is mañana. So this one has earnings tomorrow. And this could do a little crazy cray. Last time it had good earnings, and prior to that, it had good earnings, and it had good earnings. So I think it's gonna have good earnings.
Go long.
So people can go long.
If Target went up and did well, Walmart numbers will be good.
Yes. So, you know, it passed. This too shall pass. So, you know, if you have to bet on it and get a few shares, you know, just to experiment, hint, people can get a, you know, few shares just to see if it goes long. You don't have to go crazy with a lot of shares, but you can, you know, get a few and maybe make a few pesos. XOM. It's going down the last 2 days. That's it. Let's see.
Speak for
Let's
yourself,
look.
Lisa.
What?
You said you don't have to go crazy.
Yes, I'm trying to say you don't have to, but it's your choice. You don't have to, but if you want to, you can. There's always an option to do what you want. Okay, Lifty. Obviously, it had a bad, huh?
VFS on our list for review.
I have it right here. Hold on a second. So TRV did well, AFL did okay, and everything else was a dump fest. So Zillow, Zoomy, Lowy, Peppy, and Coca-Cola were the winners in this list. Campbell also. Let's look at Campbell's real quick. It's getting there. Slowly but surely, it's getting there to the 40. Okay, anything else you wanted? Oh, yes, VFS. So this is something that we were looking at since yesterday. This is a shell of a company. They say they want to, you know, sell EVs and get into the competition of EVs along with Tesla, Rivian, Fisker, and Lucid, and then all the other automobilos. So in my opinion, just based on that competition, I don't think it's gonna, you know, last that long at this $30 area. And people should jump on it. If it does another spike up, or even now, you can just get a few, you know, some shares, because eventually, even if it spikes up and you're in it, you can just get more. So that's my opinion. Let me see. I haven't looked at any articles today, so I don't have anything. But if you have something that you want to look at, let me know.
Okay, what do you have the Wall Street Journal on? Do you have something you want?
Okay, so I was looking at this quickly. I didn't get to read it. Stocks August slide continues as Treasury yields touch multi-year high. So I wanted to read this. It's only 4 minutes. I don't know if you want me to share it, but this is something I was looking at.
Can we listen to it?
Absolutely. That's why I brought it up, just in case um, people out there wanted to listen or read it along with me. Okay, so here we go.
Yield on 10-year Treasury note settles at highest level since 2008. By Charlie Grant. August 16, 2023, 4:34 p.m. Eastern Time. Stocks dipped and government bond yields reached a 15-year high after minutes from the most recent Federal Reserve policy meeting showed central bankers are worried about a possible resurgence in inflation. The 10-year Treasury yield settled Wednesday at 4.258%, its highest close since June 2008, from 4.220% a day earlier. The S&P 500 fell 0.8%. The Dow Jones Industrial Average dropped about 181 points, or 0.5%. The Nasdaq Composite fell 1.1%. All three indexes are down 2.2% or more so far in August. Recent economic data has lent credence to the notion of a still strong economy, raising concerns that the Fed's campaign to raise interest rates may not yet be over. The Atlanta Fed on Wednesday revised its inflation-adjusted gross domestic product growth forecast to 5.8% for the third quarter, according to its now model. That forecast was 5% on Tuesday. Retail sales rose more than expected in July, the Commerce Department said Tuesday. Rising bond yields, coupled with high stock valuations, mean the potential rewards from owning stocks are currently unappealing, said Tony Roth, Chief Investment Officer at Wilmington Trust. We think economic growth is pretty robust and expect a soft landing, he said. But having said that, multiples are high and we have to evaluate the attractiveness of stocks relative to bonds. The S&P 500 trades at 18.1 times forward earnings estimates, according to FactSet data. Over the past year, the average valuation for the index is 17.8 times. The broad index is still up 15% this year, despite the August sell-off. Some investors say it would be premature to think the rally in stocks is finished altogether. It's too early to expect a meaningful shift in market tenor until we see a definitive break in the economic environment, such as rising unemployment or falling corporate earnings, said Lauren Goodwin, economist and director of portfolio strategy at New York Life Investments. Progressive, the day's top performer in the S&P 500, rose 8.9% after the insurer reported stronger than expected July results. Target shares rose 3% after the retail giant reported earnings that were ahead of Wall Street expectations. TJX stock rose 4.1% to a record high after the retailer reported results. Walmart is slated to report its quarterly earnings on Thursday. Shares of electric vehicle maker VinFast Auto fell 19%. The stock more than tripled in its market debut Tuesday, leaving it with a market value on par with some of the world's leading automakers. International benchmark oil prices edged lower. Brent crude futures settled at $83.45 a barrel, down 1.7% on Wednesday and 3.9% so far this week. With concerns swirling about China's economy, Hong Kong's Hang Seng Index fell 1.4%, taking its year-to-date losses above 7%. The Shanghai Composite dropped 0.8%. In Japan, the Nikkei Index fell 1.5%. Write to Charlie Grant at charles.grant@wsj.com.
Okay. That's my little gift for today. I also found this one right now, but yes. So basically, what do we have on the notas?
Do you want
Walmart.
or
Oh, we have
do you
some
have
good
any
notas.
comments?
Huh?
Do you have any comments on the article or want to discuss it? Or that's it.
I like Walmart. As you had said, if Target went up and TJ Maxx went up, then it's probably a good there's a probability that Walmart will probably go up as well as one of the biggest gigantic retailers. And also note that Amazon had gone up. So, and
Well,
even Home Depot
were they
went up too.
even talking about Walmart in this thing, or I'm not? I'm confused. Are
Say
they
what?
talking about the article or about notes?
Both, I guess.
Okay,
So the article, we can talk about the article.
okay.
Do you have any comments?
I guess what they're saying, they're implying is true that people can get bonds, treasury yields at much higher rates now. So it's kind of like, why would you be
Invest.
risky and get into crazy stocks as much
Mhm.
when you're getting higher and higher yields from the
And it's a,
government?
yeah, it's a more of a free, risk-free, unquotes, risk-free kind of thing.
Uh-huh. And you
Yeah,
have to work for it.
that's something to keep in mind. That's one of the things that is causing of concern here, and why things might continue to slip here.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, yeah, it makes sense. However, um, we've been sporadic, and it's slightly trending down. Definitely for August. I know there was one decent week, but it's mostly been trending down. So I don't disagree with that. And I think
Hmm.
people have hit highs of COVID level highs, so things should come down just because of that. But also, companies are making money because they have, in some cases, doubled and tripled prices. And they've done it just because they could. But
Yes,
people
and
are
they're
getting paid more.
taking
People are
advantage of the
getting paid more.
situation.
So,
Hmm?
I said people are getting paid more. There's more money out there. So it's not like they're going to do a reverse and lower prices now. So when the high levels of inflation are over, people are still going to continue to have these high prices. And when we have a reversal in employment and employment numbers start to rise,
Yep,
let's
start to
say
increase.
in the next, I don't know, couple years or whatever, maybe it won't do it now, but whenever it does, the prices will not go down that have been the newly established prices. So, um, so yeah, I don't think companies are going to lose money. At least if you're a real company that does so, like, yeah, all this EV stuff and all this other pokery, they, in these fake companies. But if you're a real company that has a real product, if you're Walmart or XOM or something like that, you're you're gonna you should hit record sales, honestly.
You're gonna do well, that's for sure.
Yeah, because why wouldn't you do well? It's so much you're charging such high margins now that it's no reason for you not to do well.
They've been doing well since COVID,
Yeah,
and they will continue to.
they've done well since COVID, and after COVID, they're doing even better because they're charging more. You
Hmm.
know,
Okay, I don't know if you want, let's look at this one real quick.
we only
This
have
is the
6 minutes. We could probably call it a day. But it says VinFast stock plunges. VinFast stock is it's going to be all over the place. Tomorrow, it's going to be up $20.
Yeah, this is just another um documentation to our evidence, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
It's very short.
All right.
Shares of electric vehicle maker VinFast are down more than 20% a day after their first trading session on the Nasdaq. VinFast shares more than tripled in their first market debut Tuesday. That gave the company market value of 86 billion, putting it comfortably ahead of industry stalwarts General Motors, Ford, and Refinitiv data shows. The Vietnamese EV business went public after merging with special purpose acquisition company Black Spade. More than 90% of the SPAC investors pulled their money out of the deal before it was completed. According to the data provider SPAC Research, that left very few shares available for trading the last 2 days and set the stage for huge stock prices moves where limited amount of buying and selling swings the shares. And here it is. VinFast, Neo, Xpeng, and Lee. Dun,
Just
dun,
make
dun.
sure you short it on when it jumps up. That's all.
That's all. Make sure you short it when it bumps up, or you can just jump in right now, few shares just to watch it. And so when it makes that big spike, you get more. And that's all I got. Miss Greeno.
Person one. Who's Bella?
Bellasini.
Wow.
Okay, so that's all I got, Madama. Well, unless you see something that grabs your attention real quick, and you may want to
No, I want it to be.
You can look at the articles and see if anything grabs your attention.
I want it to be over Matra Pita for me.
Okay, so that's it. That's all I got. And any plans for the last of the evening?
Oh, let me get back on so I can copy the notes real quick.
Yes, ma'am.
No, I don't have any stuff. Think about going for a walk, but I was gonna do it by myself and not with the crazies.
I think you should never go by yourself. You should always bring some crazy animal, at least at this time.
I just didn't feel like bringing crazies. Crazies.
Well,
I know what you're saying, but I'm just saying. I'm just telling.
Remember, you don't live in the city. You live in the boonies. So just protect yourself.
Please.
Even if it's with a crazy animal.
And the boonies sometimes better. So I'm still thinking about. I think it's a little bit too late. I think I'm gonna have to go earlier in the future because, like you said, I may have to take one of the crazies with me, or both of them.
Yes. Can you send the note to us too? Don't forget.
Yeah, it will be on our channel.
Just send it to me also.
So you can pick it up there.
All right, so I will let you continue your evening.
How about you? Any planos?
Planes?
Yeah.
I'm going to continue watching this Lala stuff I was watching.
Okay, I sent you another Lala link.
I really like the first Lala you sent me. I haven't finished.
Yeah, this Lala's a little bit better. It's more intense, but it's more professional. Like that.
I like this type of Lala, believe it or not.
I enjoy
And
your
I do like my other Lala too, but you know.
Enjoy your Lala. We can discuss mañana, and we'll do this again. Same channel.
Same bat channel, same bat station.
Yes. Peace out.
Peace out.